This is America, a place where we respect law and order, the flag, the police, and each other. They are Marxist and anarchist. They hate America and they hate us. The number one problem this country faces is the volcanic cultural and societal shift that harkens the elimination of law and order in America. We are slowly moving from the power that guarantees justice, the rights and privileges in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, to chaos and anarchy on our streets, in our courts, and in our nation. How did this happen? It happened slowly, but once rooted, it spread quickly. In 2016, when Donald Trump ran as the law and order president, the term law and order was met with resentment and resistance. For me, it was the essence of a 32-year career as a prosecutor, judge, and DA. Who could be against law and order? But the groundwork had already been laid by the leftist Marxists for the systemic dismantling of law and order. Like New York's Bill de Blasio instigated unrest and rebellion because of his own personal animus towards police. Police were demonized, leading to protests and chants like this. And that is exactly what they got. Two on-duty New York City police officers, one Wenjian Liu and Rafael Ramos, sitting in a squad car, were ambushed and shot in the head for the crime of wearing a police uniform. Thereafter, cops were openly harassed, ridiculed, and denigrated with water, milk cartons, and various objects thrown at them, to being beaten with baseball bats, 2x4s, concrete, bricks, Molotov cocktails, and in April, NYPD officers had bleach thrown at them by a man with Molotov cocktails and more explosives.
You have your license registration with you?
Hold on.
What are you getting out for?
Huh?
What are you getting out for?
I got to do my water.
Well, it's down there. All right, that's fine. You can open the door if you want. When we get out, go.
They were disrespected everywhere.
The speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer. Yes, I started to record because you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
My phone. You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Then came Black Lives Matter protests against police, focusing only on black lives taken at the hands of police. The taking of black lives by anyone other than a cop garners virtually no attention by this opportunistic movement. Last summer, in Democrat-run cities like Minneapolis, Washington, Oakland, Seattle, Chicago, Baltimore, St. Louis, Atlanta, police were victimized, blinded, assaulted, and worse. And God forbid a police officer say anything about Black Lives Matter or call them terrorists, they lose their job. And then in come the Soros-funded DAs who don't deserve the title and would probably prefer being called social justice warriors, since they are more concerned about the criminal than the victim. Democrat leftist DAs like Cy Vance in Manhattan prefer to dismiss charges against arrested protesters, telling his staff to inquire whether cases can be made against the very police who arrested the protesters. DAs like George Gascon in California are reviewing sentences of convicted violent felons already in prison so he can retroactively reduce their sentences. And it doesn't end there. California is about to grant early release to tens of thousands of violent repeat offenders pursuant to Governor Newsom's emergency declaration. 76,000 inmates will be released early to prey upon the residents of California, including 20,000 inmates who were serving life sentences. You heard it, life sentences. This, where there is an increase of 30% in homicides in LA. These crime spikes are occurring with the newly elected Soros-funded DAs who refuse to seek enhanced sentences for repeat violent offenders And all the while, progressive DAs and governors, they have their own security and their own protection. And in a shock this week, almost half of the federal charges brought against Portland rioters, including assaults on federal officers, have been dismissed by the feds. The Department of Justice has actually dismissed cases where their own officers have been victimized. And then came the tectonic shift: defund the police, an effort to dismantle and disempower police departments by removing funding. Along with that came restrictions on how police could arrest. And if those regulations were not met, the officer would be prosecuted. Worse, qualified immunity is being removed so that police do not have the benefit of defending their actions based on their training and department policy. Make no mistake, the removal of qualified immunity will lead to an even greater mass exodus from police departments. So, we now find ourselves in a country shifting from law and order to sheer lawlessness. As a result, gun sales are higher than ever, and we are left to defend ourselves. But the problem when we do is that we're faced with more Soros-funded prosecutors happy to bring charges against us. The frustration is overwhelming. There's only one way to end. That means not being afraid, not going away quietly. They are Marxist and anarchists. They hate America and they hate us. I didn't spend 30 years fighting for law and order to be told it doesn't work by some leftist lunatic. None of these police-hating, flag-hating, Constitution-hating Marxists can take over the greatest system of justice in the world. No, it's you guys who got it wrong. This is America, a place where we respect law and order, the flag, the police, and each other. So, folks, we're in the fight of our lives. The choice couldn't be clearer. The only alternative is to fight the forces that seek to tear down mankind's greatest experience in freedom.